How many people here own Bitcoin? Okay, how many people here own Ethereum? Okay. How many people have participated in a token sale? How many people know what an ERC20 compliant wallet is? Okay, the numbers are getting less and less. Okay, so like David and Scott and myself have said, you know, at the end of the day, you never learn to swim by reading a book. So, you know, jumping in the pool and actually getting involved at a small level, you know, is something that is worthwhile doing. So in South Africa, we have, you know, the option of Luno and Altcoin Trader in order to, you know, get involved in either Bitcoin or Ethereum. Of course, at Altcoin Trader, you've got a number of other options. And Cliff, please do jump in at any time. I know you're going to talk about the actual Wealth Migrate platform, but I know, Cliff, you definitely, you know, have been doing this for quite a while, so can give people some information. In terms of either of these sites, I've used both in order to actually buy the initial Bitcoin, which I've then used to, so, you know, there was no South African exchange that actually offered Ethereum when I started looking at investing in token sales. So, you know, used Luno to buy the Bitcoin, and then essentially used an exchange that's overseas to buy the Ethereum. You can buy the Ethereum straight now here in South Africa. So really, in terms of doing this, it's a matter of signing up, doing a KYC process, so your ID and your proof of residence, and then getting going with a small amount of money. So I'm not going to sign up to any of these right now. They are really, really simple. Most of the wallets and the exchanges all use two-factor authentication. So does everybody here know what two-factor authentication is? Yes? No? Yes? So for those of you who don't, essentially, in order to protect your account even further, you can use two-factor authentication, which is, okay, you now have your cell phone, which has an app, so something like Authy or something like that, where it's got a random number generator, so that, you know, then the actual site asks you for that code, and then you plug it in, and then it allows you in. So it's just adding extra security. I mean, many of the sites actually have this two-factor authentication. So yeah, so you so this is Authy, for example, that pretty much, and of course everything now is two-factor authentication if you wanted to protect yourself from being hacked. So I wanted to really just spend some time here on this site, which of course is the Wealthy Coin site, which is wealthy.io. So this is the site where we will be running our crowd sale from, which will start on the 4th of April. So, you know, if you scroll through the site, it really just gives, you know, an understanding of the company and what is available. Essentially, the site is a summary of the white paper, and the white paper as well as the executive summary, which is a much slimmed down version, are available for people to read. And if you have any comments, like David said, this whole ecosystem is very much about improving. So we're always open to listen to that. Then, if this is something you do believe in and you're in the room, so I'm trusting you do believe, really the power of sharing is extremely important. So we do have our social media buttons on the right there. And of course, when it comes to token sales, Telegram essentially is the communication mechanism that the crypto world has adopted. So how many people in the room use Telegram or have Telegram on their phone? Okay. So essentially, if you go to the site and you click, there's two little paper planes. So for Wealthy Coin, we have two different sites. One is a group where, of course, on Telegram, groups are just like walking into this room and there's 1,200 people in it and you have to listen to every conversation all at the same time. So that is the Wealthy Coin group. And the other one is Wealthy Coin channel. And so a channel on Telegram is one-way communication. So it's like just a broadcast. So you can join either of them or both.
Cheers. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So on the so I mean, if you click on there, how does this click work on Scott's computer? So that would be, the Telegram group chat, and the other one at the bottom is actually what's called the Wealthy Coin announcements. So there, it's really just announcing, things that are happening. So if you don't use Telegram or you don't have Telegram, it's as simple as just saying get Telegram. The great thing about the app, and that I was talking to someone the other day, and they said Telegram should pay you. The great thing is it's actually a non-profit, but you can use it on your PC and on your phone, and they're not connected, not like WhatsApp where you have to have your phone in your pocket. So if we look at the Wealthy Coin website, there's a lot of information here, and I really ask that people take a deep dive, look at everything. Under the docs section, there is a resource page here where we've made available a lot of the documents that sort of go over and above what people generally put in a white paper. Around the company, some of the things that the company wants to do, et cetera, et cetera. So please take a look at that and share it if you think it's worthwhile. So participating in the token sale requires you to click on the Buy Wealthy token, and that'll bring you to a login screen where you need to create an account. And the reason for this is, in the initial days of token sales, essentially they said, here's the address, send us some Ethereum. And I know I participated in some of them because I'd met the CEOs or whatever, but still, you just like send off this ether into the ether, and you're like, okay. And then the token sale continued for another 2 months, and then you got your token after a few messages back and forth. So the whole industry has sort of morphed into this, where you have a log on and KYC is being done on people again, because the industry wants to be transparent and not to be sort of tainted with this idea that cryptocurrencies are all about the Silk Road and drugs online, and because yes, of course, the digital currencies are going to be used for illegal things, but so is regular currency. There's just those bad things that are happening in the world. So you would come to the site and you click on the Create an Account button, where I'm just trying to think now. I'm not going to create an account because then I'm going to have another account. But essentially, you'd create an account with email and password, confirm your password. You'll notice that it states that the password has to, it's all those difficult things that you always wonder, why must I have a password with an uppercase and a lowercase and a character and a number? But again, this is for your own security so that you don't make your password Kevin Allen 1. And, it's then easy for people to get hold of your password. So if you, I'm just going to quickly log on. And I think I have a password.
Sorry?
Password is incorrect. Oh. It's not Kevin Allen 1. That's what I just tried. And it completely said no. You have successfully logged in. So essentially, this is what the dashboard will look like, and you'll at the moment you'd need to verify your account, and that's doing KYC. At the moment, that's being, because the token sale only goes live on the 4th. That's being completed right now. So you're sort of seeing this before anything is live. That's why you can see right now you can't actually contribute in any way because it's not live. And then if you look at the top here, there is the referral program. So when you sign up, every single person who signs up gets a code that you can actually use to refer people. And so essentially for every you'll get one wealthy token for every 20 that whoever you referred purchases. It's just an added bonus that you can receive. And then there is also a place where you can claim tokens through a code. And for all members that are on the Wealth Migrate platform, which Cliff is going to show people how to sign up if you're not signed up already. We will, once the token sale is live, we will be sending through random codes to people in order for them to claim some free wealthy token. So that essentially, in a nutshell, is what you would need to do in order to participate. For the wealthy coin token sale, you will be able to contribute in either Bitcoin, Ether, or fiat, which we are busy sorting out the fiat contributions at the moment. So the one thing that you do need to understand, and we will be putting together a course in terms of webinars, because it's quite hard to do it while you're sitting here and no one has computers in front of them to actually go through things step by step, because you're going to forget it most likely anyway. But every person who participates does have to have an ERC20 compliant wallet in order for the coins to be transferred into. So for everyone who's concerned, they don't know what that means, a simple wallet is something like my Ether wallet, and I really like what my Ether wallet has done now, in that because the adoption is starting to rise in the crypto space, what they've done is you now actually can't get onto their site without going through this sort of rather lengthy explanation process, because what you must understand, of course, is when it comes to blockchain and crypto wallets, there's no one who's looking out for you. There's no bank behind you that can give you your PIN when you lose it. This is why they say we are not a bank. So if you lose the keys to your crypto wallet and you can't remember them, well, sorry for you, it's gone, it's done. That cryptocurrency is lost forever. You might as well have taken a big chest of gold coins and just thrown it into the ocean. So it is quite important that you understand that. And so what we will be doing is we will be just putting together a short tutorial around how to use things like MyEtherWallet or IAM token wallet, or using MetaMask in order to do that. But as I say, in order to do that right in front of you now, there's not that many people who have a computer in front of them, and I'm pretty sure it's something that you're going to you're going to potentially forget how to do. But if we do go through MyEtherWallet's many learning screens here, the reason they put all those learning screens up is because literally to create the wallet is put in a password and then click create, and then it's done. And of course there are some steps after that, but they really want to make sure that people understand the severity. So the question we wanted to ask, and we asked this in Joburg, is who would be interested in short, once a week, just a dive into specifics like opening a MyEther wallet or using MetaMask, or but like very specific webinars that give explanations to do that. Is there anyone who's interested in that? Okay, cool. So there are loads of YouTube videos, but again, the question is, can I trust this person? Have they made sense by putting this up, or are they trying to trying to scam me in some way? I understand that a lot of people think that. So what we will be doing is everything that is required for people to get involved. We will sort of follow those steps in a sort of weekly online webinar where they'll then be recorded, and we can then put that up online. So if it's been missed, as I say, there are many others, but it'll become part of that. So are there any specific questions that people have? Yeah.
Kevin, your referral code, once you have your referral code and you give it out, how does that get tracked back into your wallets in terms of earning some Bitcoin for referrals? So how's it managed?
So the way that the referral program is, so essentially this code that sits behind the wealthy.io on the actual URL, as soon as a person signs up on that, there is a system that sits in the background.
Do they click on that link then? So you send them the link.
You have to send this link.
And they click on that link and it takes you to the site.
This particular link.
Tracks your user code.
So if you sent that to your friend and your friend said, cool, awesome, and then at work went to wealthy.io, and that's not going to be tracked because it can't, how is it supposed to know? But yeah, it's clicking on the link, then that account. So let's say I click on your link, then my account is connected to you in the background. And so every time then I buy, it automatically knows to.
Yeah. So
to
what's
give you-
important is that if you do give out that link, to just tell your family and friends or whatever to make sure they go
Yes.
through that link to get
Yeah.
to that, to link it back to you.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. Yaku?
Kevin, I know so just a quick thing. So for South Africans, it's easy to use Luno as because they've got Ethereum as well on that. I think you need to just take it a step further when you finish this process on where you would be buying, just theoretically where you would be getting because you will be buying tokens via Ethereum. So you can pay on our website with Ethereum, but you need Ethereum first before you
Yes,
can do
yeah.
that. And that's the reason that we're going through this process, is so that you can buy it. Luno is one of the bigger ones in South Africa that you can use. If you haven't heard of them, they also a very easy setup process, and
Yeah.
under 10 or 15, Cliff, just under 10 or 15, you don't even need KYC on that as well.
There's limited KYC requirements for small investment amounts. Yeah.
So it's quite easy to do that as
But
well.
is the ER
And a lot of security as well.
Is the Luna wallet ERC20
No.
compliant, and you can't use that through? for
No,
the
so
wealthy IR?
so Luno, so for the wealthy coin, the Luno wallet is not ERC20 compliant. Yesterday, it was interesting to see that Coinbase are looking to become ERC20 compliant.
So you can't hold the coin in the Luna wallet,
no.
but you can buy Ethereum safely through the Luna wallet.
Yes.
So that you can buy the coin
Absolutely,
on that.
that's
But you
correct.
can't hold the coin, you'll have to hold it on exchange.
Absolutely.
Hold on, should we go to menu, please?
What about Zappo? Zappo.com.
Zapper. I've never used them. So this one. I've never used it, so I can't have anything to say. Anybody used it? And? Only Bitcoin, but is it user-friendly, fairly? Okay.
There's a question there. Ken.
Yeah.
Here in South Africa, yeah. It's to keep ERC20. No, it's not.
Kev, we've got another
You
question.
need something cool sounding like IM Wallet or MetaMask. Yes.
Yeah, do you have to transfer your Ethereum then into a wallet like?
Yeah, so what you would do is once the site's live, you'll click on the little Ethereum logo and it'll pop up a wallet address or a QR code for you to scan from your wallet in order to make the transfer.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the way it would work. Yo.
People that are not too familiar with the space, but the difference between holding essentially a hot wallet or a wallet on the exchange versus software that you're going to download and hold on your computer.
Yeah.
Just so they can understand the difference.
No, absolutely. So it's you sound like you can explain it pretty well. The thing is yeah, you essentially I'm just trying to how would you make an analogy if you are holding tokens on an exchange, then it's pretty much like it's in the bank, right? So if there's a run on the bank, you could still actually lose your money. If you're holding it in a soft wallet, so on your phone, then it's like keeping it in your wallet, in your pocket. Your phone could be, your wallet could actually still be stolen. Then you can go even further and you can go cold storage where it's on a nano ledger, for example, which is an offline device, which you could go put in a security box somewhere, and that would be the most safe way to keep something. But so that's sort of the levels of sort of security. When it's kept on an exchange, if you actually have Bitcoin or Ethereum and it's kept on an exchange, something like Coinbase, you don't even have the private keys for that. So actually, I guess it's like keeping money in a bank. But I mean,
Of course, I haven't.
you know, if you talk about all those different levels of security, for people who are just sort of in the small sort of playing space, I don't think you need to think about, you know, nano ledgers, etc. But I mean, I met someone in Puerto Rico who grew up in Utah, and at 16, he's now 22, had nothing better to do in Utah than to figure out what this Bitcoin thing was, and so is probably worth about $100 million now. And he has a few thousand Bitcoin on a nano that's sitting in a lockbox in Switzerland. But that's quite important because, you know, yeah, people know who he is, and so, but for sort of Joe and Jill blogs, it should be okay. I think it's the last question.
Can I ask just one more?
Yes.
Just a matter of interest, Zappa wallet has also got a vault, and it's one of the only wallets that will insure your Bitcoin should it get taken out the vault. So it's just something for people who don't know. Just coming to your wealthy coin, I just want to know, is it going to be a centralized or decentralized coin? Or what is it, the releasing, can you mine it, or how does it get released?
So, okay.
And is it tradable on exchanges? Will it be able to be traded on the
Yeah,
exchange?
great. So, Wealthy is a essentially pre-mined coin. So at the end of the token sale, all the Wealthy coins that are going to ever be in circulation will be in circulation. It's on the Ethereum network, so it's an ERC20 token. Of course, then in terms of exchange, we do have cameras here. So talking about that and what exchange and when, etc., I mean, from a regulatory point of view, you are always asked to steer clear of those questions because we can't essentially ensure any sort of increase in value, and you must understand that you know, that's sort of where the regulation is. But in terms of the actual token, you know, once it is minted and it's bought and it's out there, there is a lock-in period that is in place on the token, and once that's lock-in's over, essentially the token can then be traded on any decentralized exchange that there is. So whether that's MyEtherDelta or what's that one in Japan, Quio One, you know, immediately, because the whole point of a decentralized exchange is anybody can list it there and can sell it there. In terms of other exchanges, the ones that everyone knows about, you know, beyond, so we spoke about Binance earlier, for example, or Bitfinex or Poloniex, and there are about, I don't know, about 100 odd exchanges, OKX, many more. In terms of listing of coins on exchanges, at the moment, the team that we're working with for our token sale do have a network of people that they are speaking to already. But usually what I'm sure you've seen with other altcoins is they'll start on a very small random exchange and then potentially move from there. That is pretty much the way it will happen. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, everybody. We will be, you know, giving more information around all of these matters for those people who are new to the game via online training, and we look forward to seeing you as part of the Telegram group. Please do join that. We have admin both here and in the US time zone, and you know, to answer questions. And the guys from Blockable who are helping us in the community, they are really open to questions, so you can private message them, can private message us, and you know, and we'll answer questions. So thanks very much. And over to Cliff.
Thanks, Kevin.
Cool.
I'll just use Scott's PC. Hi everybody, my name's Cliff Kayat. I'm the CEO of South Africa for Wealth Migrate, which is the division that's been created to create demand and supply for South Africa. So I'm going to run through our current platform, the Wealth Migrate platform, and just show you the process of registering, logging in, looking at what investments we have available, and going through a process of how to do an investment. So please shout if you have any questions while we're going through. Our Wealth Migrate address is wealthmigrate.com. If you look on the top there, it defaults to /ZA. That's for our global compliance. So the website, depending on your country you're in, will find the right website for you to make sure all the legal and compliance issues are addressed in that area. To run through the platform, here's basically our front-end website, which is our learning section of the site. And just from a partner point of view, because one of our main marketing areas for this year is our partner program. So under partner, you have our partner program. If you go through this process, you can join our affiliate marketing channel, which is basically where we assist, or we request you to bring along or market to your customers or your family and friends. And for anybody that you refer, just very much like Kevin showed on the affiliate program on the Wealth eCoin, is we will give you a referral commission of 1%. Obviously, we know you're not FSB compliant, or a lot of you aren't. So you just you send the referrals through, our sales teams will contact those clients and give them support and service they need. So if you need any more information about that, Melanie at the back there. Melanie, if you'll just stand up for a second and put your hand up. Melanie is our affiliate manager, so please just give her a shout or email her, and she can assist you with that process. All right, so if you get to our site and you want to register, you'll click on the join. Basically, we ask for your basic information to create an account for you. I'm not going to go through that now, but it's first name, last name, mobile number, email, password. If you have a referral code for one of your friends to verify you're not a robot, essentially once you complete that, it will take you into the site. And you just basically sign in just like that. There's been some finger trouble. So if you register or if you sign in via your login, you'll come to our home screen. I'll come back to my portfolio screen. The second screen we have is the Browse Investment screen. This will show you the current investments we have available on our platform. It will default to what's open and what is coming soon. And then you can have on the top section of the site, you can search by partner name or look for all of our funded investments, for example, and it will show you all of our funded investments. You can browse through our projects. I'll go through one in a bit more detail, look at all the information, the background information, our due diligence process, some photographs of the investments, and then we also use this platform once you are an investor to come back to your investments and view any updates or any quarterly or monthly feedback that we provide to our investors. We have a partner section. This section gives all of our current partners we have in our various areas around the world, and it gives an overview of what they do, their track record. As Wealth Migrate, we have Wealth Protect deals. We give you the reason why we've chosen those deals, and while we go through our due diligence to give you a good decision to make a decision as to what project you invest in. As such, when you click on one of our partners deals, you can go through their track record and see where they've invested and where they buy, and look at their track record and see what their returns are like, and you can make your decisions as to which investment and which partner you want to go through. When you create your account with us, obviously for compliance reasons, you have to be legally and compliant in terms of our South African FICA, which in global terms is known as KYC. So this current platform supports our global KYC principles. This account has been set up to work on an individual basis, but we can also set up your account and we can have your trusts or companies set up. Obviously, South African trusts and companies can't invest in international real estate. That's true 90% of the time, but there are some very rare cases where if you apply to the receiver, you can actually get permission to purchase real estate outside the country via a local trust or company, but it's very hard to actually do. So basically, in your My Profile section, we want to know who you are, your name, your email address, your language, your country of your tax region, as well as your country, your origin. Underneath that personal information, we have an investment structure. So if you invest in your private name, you'll create a private investment structure. If you have an offshore company or an offshore trust, some countries do allow you to have a trust and invest in international real estate. As I mentioned, South Africa doesn't, but if you have a foreign trust or a foreign company, you can set it up here. I'm just going to go through the process of what's required for an individual in this presentation. We have a KYC team back at the office that is run by Siska. So if anybody is setting up a more complex structure, please give us a call and we'll help you through that process. So the information that we require from your individual capacity, for obviously compliance reasons, we'd like to know your tax numbers, your ID numbers, your physical address where you live. We then will create a Wealth Migrate account number for you, which is detailed over here, and that will be your unique account number to manage all your procurements or your transactions through the platform, and that is linked to your structure. So you could have an individual structure and a company structure and a trust structure on your same profile if that's how you've chosen to set it up. We have a bank account requirement. Understand from a KYC point of view and money laundering point of view, the entity that you create a profile with is the entity that your bank account must be opened into, and that's the account you have to trade with throughout our platform. And that is for international money laundering activities. You can't invest in your private capacity and then request the money out in your trust or in your company or vice versa. So you have to, the entity you create on here, if it's your company or your trust or your private entity, must have the bank account open in the same name. We also require your address of your bank. It's a bit more detailed than we do for a local bank, but understanding you're going to be earning your income from a foreign country, and international transactions requires your SWIFT codes for your bank details as well as your physical address. And we do have a tick box here that basically confirms that you are transferring funds from this account. So the intention is that you are not opening an account saying it's in your name and your account, but transferring funds from a foreign country or from another area. Again, it's international money laundering rules and regulations. To comply with international FICA, we require either a ID document in South Africa or a passport or a driver's license in the States. One of the two, we don't require both. And you will just upload a document over here for your copy of your passport or your ID, and we require your 3-month-old proof of address, not more than 3 months old. So those are pretty standard documents. Obviously, if you have a company or a trust structure, you're going to have to upload your trust documents and your proof of address, and all your directors or trustees of the companies or trusts will be required here. So as I said, it's a lot more of a lengthy process. So this is the only information that we require over here to open an entity, and obviously once you complete, you save that form. No, the current platform doesn't allow for 2 bank accounts. What you can do is you can change your banking details at a later stage. So as long as the entity name doesn't change. So if you have an account in South Africa, when you create your account, but in a year or two's time you open an account in America, as long as it's in your name, you can change the account to that details. Obviously, when you do that, we're going to re-KYC you to make sure that the same account is owned by the same entity. Okay. Below the company structure, we just have some basic information. We're going to be building this out a bit further with the revision, the new version of the platform. But basically, we just want to know what kind of client we're dealing with. Have you been exposed to investments before? Are you a new, first-time investor? Do you have knowledge, or are you a professional investor? The kind of amounts you're going to be investing per year, where your money is coming from, if it's salary or inheritance or dividends, and what areas you'd like to invest in. This is purely for us to gauge type of communication we're going to be sending to you as product knowledge. And then below that we have, do you want to receive emails and event updates? You can untick it here. So if you don't want to receive a lot of emails from us, untick that and you won't hear from us. If you want to get information, marketing information, please keep those ticked. All right, so basically that is as simple as it is. If you complete that information and you upload valid documents, you're going to be KYC'd in 24 to 48 hours, and you can then start transacting on our platform. When you then decide to start transacting, you'll do that through the My Portfolio or the Browse Investment screen. But I'll run through the My Portfolio screen to show you what we have available on the front screen. So the first thing we're showing you is a map. This profile has got North America and Australia ticked or highlighted in color. And if you just hover your mouse on the top here, it basically says that 20% of the investments are held in Australia for this client, and 50% are in America. And depending on what other regions you invested in, those colors will highlight on this graphic. Below here is just showing you what investments are currently in the process of being uploaded. So this profile is currently invested in Cedarwood. Below that you have your wallet. So when you create your online profile and you get KYC'd, we create a trading account on the Tropex exchange, which is in Seychelles. So essentially you have a trading account. Your wallet on our platform is effectively your balance in your trading account. So when you fund your wallet or you fund your trading account, we will display that to you via your South African, via your platform wallet. When you make an investment, we will debit the funds out of your wallet and issue you shares into your securities. We'll then basically, if you buy $10,000 worth of investment, we'll debit your wallet by $10,000 and credit you with $10,000 worth of shares in that particular investment. So below this wallet section, we have a US wallet and an Australian wallet. If you open the US wallet and you go to the bottom transaction first, there was the first cash deposit of $50,000. Then $50,000 was withdrawn from this wallet to do a share purchase in the Cypress Ridge investment. Then a further deposit of $250,000 was made, and that was then debited by an investment in Cedarwood. Then dividends was received for the Cedarwood, the Cypress Ridge investment, and then a further cash deposit was made and then withdrawn and invested into the Medical 7 portfolio. So every dividend that you will receive or any deposit you make will display on your wallet if it's in a US dollar basis. On our current platform, we cater for 4 different currencies. We cater for pounds, Australian dollars, US dollars, and South African rands. So each currency you invest in, we'll create a separate wallet for you. So here below is your Australian wallet, and that will show where cash was deposited of $100,000 for a share purchase in Kensington, and there was a dividend received. The account I'm showing you is not a live account, it's a demo account. So it's not showing you the dividends that should have been received since December of last year. But essentially your wallet will have all your transactions that you have, every dividend you receive. Our dividends are paid quarterly per investment. So if you invested in 6 projects that quarter, you should earn 6 dividends if your dividends are an income producing asset and not a growth asset, whereby you'll only earn your income on the exit of that deal. Below, you'll have your security section, and under security section, we will show you all the investments that you've invested in. So if we go to Medical 7, on the wallets above, we showed a debit of the wallet, and that came in as a credit on a share purchase. So there was $100,000 purchased or invested into Medical 7, and here's that transaction over here. On the right-hand side, we did mention earlier that our investments are stored on the blockchain. So each time you do a purchase, we will then give you a transaction on the blockchain that will back up that transaction. So essentially, if you click on that blockchain icon, we bring up your actual blockchain entry. So we currently work on the Bitcoin blockchain, and we are storing this transaction directly on the blockchain. So that gives you peace of mind that you've actually invested that cash into that listed share on the social stock exchange, and here's a proof on the blockchain that that investment is actually there. All right, so basically that's Medical 7, and each of these other share securities will list the transactions and the date of the transaction. Each of those transactions will tie up to what's in the wallet. Once you've created your profile and you have been KYC'd, you can fund your wallet. This is a manual way of funding the wallet. You can go through the investment process, which I'll show you in a second. And as you do your investment, you can specify the amount you want to deposit, and you can deposit through the investment process. But if you wanted to just park money because you know an investment is coming in the near future, we allow you to do that via the blockchain, via the platform. Again, you will go and choose your profile that you want to fund into. We will give you an EFT or a Sable. Sable is an investment company, a forex company that we work with that assists our clients in transferring funds largely from South Africa to the Seychelles, but essentially they'll help you transfer funds from anywhere to anywhere. Or else you have an EFT section. Basically, if you click on these sections, it will just give you the details of where to transfer the money to, and then allow them to come back and assist you with that process. But what I wanted to show you here as well, we also have a PayGate transaction area where we can take credit card payments or direct EFT for South African investments only at this stage. And then we have BitPay. So BitPay is our area where we allow investment through Bitcoin. Obviously, we don't transact in Bitcoin, but we will then convert your amount of funds that you want to invest. So if you choose you want to invest 10,000 and you want to pay with Bitcoin, we will go along and assist you with that transaction. It will bring up your Bitcoin, your BitPay wallet. Choose if you want to pay with currency, choose Bitcoin, and then it'll give you your Bitcoin payment method, so you can go in through your app. You can either copy the Bitcoin address, or you can just use the QR code through your phone, and you can pay that money with your Bitcoin. We have worked out that to pay $10,000 right now, we've got 15 minutes to do that transaction, which we show over there, and it will mean 1.239 Bitcoins for the next 24 hours. We will guarantee that price, and we will take your Bitcoin, transfer it over into our wallet, and then convert the money from Bitcoin back into dollars. So we end up with dollars in our account, but you've made a transaction through your Bitcoin wallet.
Guys, you know what normally happens at that point? Like people just stand up and go, woohoo, that's flipping amazing. But this is Joburg, your Cape Town. So.
Thank you, Scott. All right, so that's how to fund your wallet. So if you go to the bottom of this screen, we will show you our top pick investments. If there's more, you can click on the left or right to go through it. And if you go a bit further down, you'll see your upcoming or your coming soon investments that we have. Excuse me. So let's assume we would like to invest in Medical 10. If you want to know a bit more about the building, you click on the image. It will go into our page which highlights that investment. There'll be a few more photographs on the investment. This is again a medical building. Below it's going to give you an overview, an investment summary. In the investment summary is our brochure, which is the nice looking view of the building. It'll give you a background on it, who the partners are. It'll indicate the kind of returns you can get through that for that investment. It's more of a brochure type document, and below it is our property supplement, which is the legal agreement that you're going to be entering into to invest in that portfolio, in that deal. It will give you project updates. This is will be listed once the project has gone live. So once we're live, every quarter we'll put on an update with dividend payments, how the building's performing, what the report on the building is doing by the property owner, and obviously if there's some difficulties happening with the building, then we'll report more often on updates regarding that, and then a returns calculator based on the ROI for that particular investment. So this is just showing you over here, if you invest $1,000 on this investment, you're going to make $1,484 over the period of that investment, which is a 3-year investment. And it'll show you basically your returns over here. Okay. So at this point, you can click on the Invest Now button, or you could have clicked on the Invest button on the My Portfolio. So I'm just going to go back there. So now I'm going to go through an investment process, assuming that you have come along and you have KYC'd your account, and your account is active. And I'm going to select to invest in Medical 10. It's going to take you through the 7-step process. Gavin and his team are busy working on the first thing we ask you to do is to choose your account where you're going to invest from. This profile only has one investment entity, but as I said, you could have had a company here and a trust or whatever offshore accounts or offshore businesses that you have. It's going to invest privately. This account has gone through a profile and a KYC setup. If it hasn't had, at this point, it's going to take you through all the documents required to carry on, but we have already gone through the process. Here you can view the documents you've uploaded, or you can just go next because they are correct. And KYC, but that'll be your ID or your passport and your proof of address. So here you're going to select the amount you want to invest. I'm going to invest $10,000. Below the actual dollar amount is a voucher redeem button. We do give out some vouchers as gifts, and we also have a facility where you could purchase a voucher and give it as a gift to a client or a friend. And over here you'd enter the voucher code, which will then depict, based on the voucher, as to what investment amount that you can actually go through. For legal and compliance reasons, our auditors are PKF Capital. We have to go through their terms and conditions. So essentially, the PKF requirements and then the Wealth Migrate requirements have to be read and understood. And here are the documents you need to understand to make sure you are legally and compliant and allowed to invest in these projects. So the ticks basically just indicate that you have read and do understand. And please, if you don't, contact our officers or your sales consultant or our help desk to discuss those requirements. That would be step 3. On to step 4. This is where you actually sign your legal agreement. So above here, we are giving you your offering description and your property supplement. You can open these, read these, download them, send them to your advisors, your auditors. Make sure that you're happy to invest. When you're happy with that, you then go through and state that you have read and understand the legal requirements. Again, if you need explanation on that, please contact your or Wealth Migrate, and we'll assist you with those documents and the compliance around that and any questions you may have. Then you go into the signing process. It's an online signature. We load a document. It's only this document. This is a one-page document which outlines your investment process, which when you sign it gets attached to your property supplement, and that becomes your full legal contract with us. So in this document, we'll indicate to you what project you're investing in, the unique reference number for that project, who is investing, your address, and your amount of investing, and it should have your reference details in here. Once you're happy with that, you click on the sign-in block, and then you try and sign. There we go. For those who can't sign, there is a little box on top where you can go and type in your name. But essentially, it works better with a mouse, and it works great on a phone or a tablet. once you are happy with your signature, you sign the document. This is a online signature system that tracks your computer IP and it tracks your documents exactly where you signed from. So it gives us, it is a legal and compliant sales option. So at this point, you have to then make a payment. You either have funds in your wallet that you've preloaded through Fund My Wallet, or you have to at this stage make a payment, which is either via Sable or wire transfer or BitPay for this transaction. And by clicking on Sable, it's not going to do anything besides give you the information of where you need to transfer the funds to Sable, and then their contact details to assist with that. The wire transfer is assuming you're going to go to your own bank. So you print the screen out, go to your bank, or you go onto your own banking profile, and through your Forex section, you load your own payment, or as I explained earlier, you can go to BitPay. So I'm assuming I'm doing my own transfer for this deal. Go to the next screen. At this point, we give you the option of downloading the signed documents, which you have signed. It will be the full property supplements as well as your signature. Or view the banking details again if you forgot them. And then once you have made your payment and your bank gives you a proof of payment, you come back and you upload that over here. Once you've uploaded that document, your transaction is complete, and essentially you've invested in your first or in a international real estate investment. It's that simple. So that's basically the full transaction process. If you at this point have to go to your bank and you go out and you come back in a week or two or a week later with your proof of payment, and you come back to your My Profile, you'll go back to your profile, and here we'll say complete your investment. Clicking on that will take you straight back to that screen, and just upload that form, and that will conclude your investment. If you have funds in your wallet, all we require you to do is to give us a letter that you sign and just state, please use funds in my wallet, and you upload that document. And basically that's it. That's how you create a profile, that's how you use the Wealth Migrate platform, and that's how you do an investment. So it could take you a couple of minutes to go through, or 15 minutes to go through your profile. It may take you 24 to 48 hours to have it KYC'd. Once that's done, you can do an investment in literally 2 or 3 minutes. So it's that simple.
And I mean, just to add to that, we're really quite excited. The tech guys are working on it, but the team actually got the KYCing to now let the regulators agree net verify, which will take that to a couple of minutes. And also, if you invest less than $10,000, you don't actually need to do KYC. So we've actually got the regulator to agree that already, but the tech has to be updated, basically. In terms
So what Scott's also saying is the vision is to get down to $1, and that's friction cost. Right now, KYC costs money, transferring money from here to the States costs money. So there's a lot of fees that we can't do without. To transfer $100 will cost you roughly $40. So it doesn't make sense to do very small investments at this point. But with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and new regulations and online payment methods, we hope to get those costs as low as possible to allow us to invest in smaller and smaller amounts.
There was a question.
Any
somewhere,
questions? Yeah. Sure, there's a mic, sir.
You mentioned that one of those investments had a horizon of 3 years. How does one sell your investment? It's the one part of the question. The second one is, if I can sell after 3 years, well, how does the building get refunded? Because then if my investment isn't there anymore, then somebody else will have to buy.
The investments will change from deal to deal. The particular one I showed you now is a 3-year investment. It's a guaranteed investment. The partner is actually buying that portion of the building back after 3 years. So your investment in that deal is a fixed investment for 3 years. You will get paid a quarterly dividend, and on exit you will get an exit amount based on the sale price. So at the moment we don't really have a secondary trading working system. Because you're on the Seychelles Exchange, we do allow for secondary trading, but the way we do it now is you contact us, we then offer your shares to all the other investors in that deal, and basically it's a willing buyer, willing seller, and we'll take over your shares for a fair price, and we can assist you on that price. But essentially, the deals are either 18 months to 2 years for a development project, or a 3 to 5, or even a 7 year for a fixed project, and you are in for the whole period. The benefit of staying in till the end is the exit is where you make most of the profits. So if we're giving you 8% quarterly returns, but the deal's going to give you an average of, say, 15% return, you'll get that on exit. So the idea is to keep it up to about a 5-year project max, and then when the project sells. The other option at exit is all the shareholders get together. Obviously, you own, depending on the amount that you invest, a share of that company, and all the shareholders together make up the decision making on that company. And at the end of the 5 years, we will send you facts and figures on the actual investment, and it's up to you and your fellow shareholders to decide if it's the right time to sell or you want to stay in for a further 2 or 3 years. And then those who want to get out can get out, and those who want to stay in, and we'll facilitate that transaction from there.
I mean, a good example of that, guys, is that one of the exit strategies we've spoken about for years, if you've seen us talk, is that we wanted to buy medical buildings, and we wanted to buy them where the equity required was between $1 and $10 million, which means it's too big for the small guy, the mom, the pop, the doctor, and the dentist, but it's too small for the big guy. The big property fund REIT, the Harvard MBA, they don't get excited by doing $15 million deals. And the strategy was to buy a whole bunch of what we call medium-sized cherry-pick deals, bring them together, and then sell them to a fund or a REIT once we got to $100 million. And we literally are in the process. In fact, it's supposed to close on the 4th of April, where the portfolios from 1 to 5 are actually being accumulated, and they're being bought by a fund or a REIT. And there's 3 things that are important there. One, I sat with a lady yesterday, and we were going through her returns, and on those projects, she's going to make an average capital growth return. So forget about the income, a capital growth return of 21%. And then on the, also what's important in America is you can do a 1031, which allows people to take their capital growth and reinvest it without paying capital gains tax. So this portfolio strategy is an extremely powerful strategy that Cliff was just talking about, but it's not a hypothetical thing. Like, we're doing it, we've got clients, we've got projects, and it's literally happening as we speak, So it's really important, in terms of the process.
So the current medical portfolio, which Scott has mentioned now, will be closing. It's closed from an investment point of view. It's now going through the due diligence and the listing phase. That should be listed by the 5th of April. And that, with medical 1, 2, 3, and 5, and one other building, is now going to be a $110 million investment back on our platform. But essentially, it's a closed deal for all the investors that were in those other deals, and we raised an extra about $2.2 million into that deal. So it's a fantastic deal. And the returns on that are going to be at 17.3 or 17.4%. 92% return on investment over 5 years on that deal. It's a very good deal. Are there any other questions? If there's anybody that wants help on creating a profile or an account, I've got our team are here, so we can help you now if you have a computer here or want to just go through it. Otherwise, please give us a shout in the office. There's a question over here.
Hi. Can you just quickly run through the difference between income and growth and level 1 and level 2? What that means on the
Can I first? I want to get my PowerPoint.
Sure.
Yep. No, you can talk. I just want to get my
income is where we buy a building that's currently tenanted. So it's already been built. It's tenanted. As soon as you buy it, we list it. From day one, we earn rent. We pay you a quarterly dividend on that project, on that investment, for the full period of 5 years, say, for the investment. And on exit, we sell the building for a profit, and we share the profit according to the members. That's an income project. And then a growth project would be where we go into development. So we buy something, either a piece of ground or a building, and we either refurbish it or we build a building with a partner, and you put cash in up front, and you wait for the building to be built. Then we sell the building, either in apartments or sell the whole building off, and you get a lump sum at the end. So a growth project will normally give you a higher return, a bit more of the higher risk, higher reward type scenario, whereas the income deal is more of the guarantee. The building is built, the developer can't run away, the tenants are in, they're paying rent, it's about managing the tenant base. Level 1 and level 2, Scott can help now, but level 1 deal is where we are, Wealth Migrate is basically the provider. We go and find the asset, we do the deal with a partner in country, we purchase the asset in collaboration with them, they get the bond in their name, and we raise all the equity, and we close the deal. We manage the whole process to 5 years. We sell the deal. A level 2 deal is where we go in with a partner who does a development, and he's raising his own finance and for his own clients, but he's short or he wants some assistance, and we raise, say, quarter of the equity or half or 10%, and we raise it through our platform. We are a part owner or a part investor in his project, but he does the due diligence, he owns the property, he manages it, and he reports to our platform. That's a level 2 deal. So you choose your partner based on level 2, you choose who your partner is and what deal you want to get involved in, whereas a level 1 deal is us, Wealth Migrate. We chose it, we go and find it. Anything you want to add?
And I think all I was going to add is that the tech guys are actually working on this at the moment. So this, don't shoot me for my Google drawings, but this was the sort of the specs. But we wanted to make it as simple as a growth project. Like even my son who's 6 should be able to understand that that's a new development, and then an income is an existing building, etc. So just trying to make it really graphically easy, because quite frankly, an income and growth at level 1, level 2 doesn't mean anything to anyone. So you want to make it graphically, interfacingly logical. And then what Cliff's just said is, if you look here from a risk, income is obviously less risky than growth because it's an existing building with a tenant. So you can see the risk there, and then the risk on this side, you've got the wealth, protect. So we're renaming level 1 wealth protect. So it's logical, it makes sense. And then you've got, level 2 is open marketplace, and again, and then what we're going to do when we have deals, now it might not look exactly like what I've done here, but we're trying to make it as logical as possible, that literally you've got the different badges, and then when you invest, you actually can see, oh, that's what it is. I know I don't have to read 45 pages. Do you see what I'm trying to get at? So it'll make it really logical and easy for people to understand.
Also, what we're trying to do on the Wealth Protect deals is to actually guarantee the return. So it may even require us to get an insurance on those deals to make sure that what we're proposing is what you're actually going to get out. And even if there's a risk, we'll insure against that risk. Are there any further questions? Great. That's all from my side, from the platform.
Yeah,
side.
fantastic. Thank you very much, Cliff. Well, listen, guys, I think it's been a long day for everyone. A huge amount of information in everyone's heads. Really appreciate you guys staying till the end. And just to remind you, don't forget to take your letter. If you do fill in the feedback forms, please just give them to one of us so that we've got them. I'd really appreciate if you will put the stuff out on the WhatsApp groups. Join the different groups. We've got a cryptocurrency group. We've got a digital real estate investing group. We've got an exponential technologies group. So if you don't want to be on the group, don't get on the group. But we've got a like-minded community of people that are sharing wonderful information, and we really want you to be part of it and learn. And it's, if you run to the back of the room now, you're just going to find the cameraman. We're not trying to sell you anything. So, really for me, it's quite important that as a community we keep growing. And I ask you one last thing, which is that I believe we've all got a responsibility now to go out there and share with people around South Africa, your friends, your family, and around the world, that there's a better and new way of investing. And I truly believe that we can solve one of the greatest challenges on the planet when people realize that there's a better way to do things without all the middlemen, without all the costs. And that's not only Wealth Migrate. There's easy equities, there's cryptocurrencies, etc. But hopefully today we've opened your eyes to just some of those opportunities. So thank you for your time. It's been wonderful having you all here. Hopefully we've added value, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thanks very much.